And what do they decide, these bankers people who created the problem when they come in? They decide that the Obama administration should not, no, we must not throw hundreds of billions of dollars at the banking system, okay? We must throw trillions of dollars at the banking system. And so the American government has hurled trillions of borrowed money, which the taxpayers and children and generations yet unborn will be left with the bill for, at the very banking system that has caused the problem. But this is not incompetence. You see, incompetence and bureaucratic incompetence is one of the great cover stories for a cold, calculated plan. I've talked to you before about the structure that this network of families wants to create to install this global centralized dictatorship. And it is this: a world government that dictates to every country. And the world government would control a world central bank that would control all global finance in every country. A world army which would impose the will of the world government, a world currency to replace all cash currencies with one world electronic currency, no cash, and a microchip population connected to a global computer system and the global positioning satellite system, and then under that the unions, the European Union, American Union, all the rest of it I've talked about. Now, key in that structure, in what we're talking about today, is the World Central Bank. If you do not have an enormous global economic crisis that you have to find a solution for, there is no way that you are going to be able to persuade people to completely restructure global finance around a world central bank that would, not in in theory, but in absolute effect, be a financial dictatorship to every person on the planet. You're not going to persuade people to do that. What do you mean we want a world central bank dictating world finance? We don't need that. Everything's fine. Leave it. So what you do, of course this is the technique that they use all the time, is you need a massive problem that destroys the status quo, destroys the financial status quo, and then you can then offer the solution, which is, look, this is so bad, there's no way we can sort this out. We have a global crisis because of globalization of the financial system now. No one can sort it out individually. We're going to have to find a global solution to this. And they are already talking about the British Prime Minister Gordon Brown, who was Chancellor of the Exchequer through the Blair Premiership from 97 over 10 years, who mirrored in Britain what Greenspan was doing in America, destroying all regulation to allow the free-for-all to happen. He's now Prime Minister. And he is talking about the need for a new global architecture of financial governance. And there's newspaper and magazine articles being placed. Well, maybe what we need is a world central bank. It's already being talked about. So the idea is to create this, and has been, to create this crisis, and then to make it so bad that people accept the globalized solution to it, in effect solution, alleged solution, and so global finance changes and control of it changes in ways that it never would without the crisis. And so what we're looking at now is a three-stage process to bring that about. One has happened, one is happening, the other one is waiting in the wings to happen. Stage one of this engineered collapse is to collapse the economy in a way that people saw that there was a major problem. This is what they did towards the end of the Bush administration. Stage two was to bring in the people who were responsible for engineering the crisis to offer the solutions to the crisis, and those solutions have been, of course, to hurl unbelievable amounts of borrowed money at the problem. at the banks who've caused the problem, etc. The idea of stage 2 is to empty the gun, if you like, to empty the gun barrels in terms of ability to react to the problem of the governments. You get them to throw so much borrowed money that there comes a point there's no way they can continue to do that. You also make sure, and we're now seeing this blatantly in America, that all that money thrown at the problem has no effect. And we're now seeing in congressional Senate hearings on Capitol Hill, where these financial administrators from the Federal Reserve and other government financial agencies are being asked, where has all this money gone? Where has all this vast amount of money gone that's been thrown at the banks? Who's got it? What have they done with it? Where is it? And they're like, well, we haven't done the audit yet. No, you don't know, do you? Well, I can't tell you at this moment, no. It's gone into a black hole because it's not meant to have an effect. And what they're doing in America, and some financial experts are exposing this, is they're artificially manipulating the figures of the banks to make it appear as if their problems are getting less and they're starting to, you know, make money again. It's all financial manipulation to give the impression that things are turning around when they're not. This is stage 3 now. And I can't say when this will be. I can say when it will be, but I can't say when it will be in time. But when it will be when they decide that the barrels of the governments in terms of reacting to this crisis are empty and there's no more money or anything else they can do to react, and then they're going to crash the world economy on a major scale. And how bad will it be? It will be as bad as is necessary to get the world to accept a totally restructured global financial system based on a world central bank, which will be a dictatorship to everybody on the planet in terms of finance and financial potential and opportunity, etc. Now, what they want at the world government, world central bank level, is just a mirror of what's happening in the European Union. See, in the European Union, they have the bureaucracy dictating from the center, which is what they'd want the world government to be at a world level. But they also have the European Central Bank, which is the dictator of finance within the European Union. So what will happen when they go to this world level is you'll have the World Central Bank as the prime dictator, and then it will operate down through the European Central Bank and the Central Bank of the other unions that are being created, like the African Union and the American Union that they're closing in on. And so you have this financial pyramid of central banks headed by the World Central Bank, which will control all global finance. And there are many reasons why they've engineered this collapse, but this is a key reason why they've done it. And, you know, just watch what unfolds, and we'll see when they first start talking about, we really need a World Central Bank. It might not be too far from now. It's just a case of how bad do we have to make it before we get what we want. And if they have to make it really, really bad, well beyond the 1930s Great Depression, they will do so, because they're ruthless.
U cijelom svijetu danas postoji nekakva vrst povjerenja, uzdanja u novog američkog predsjednika, zbog toga jer Amerika naravno ima najveći utjecaj na svjetske financije. Naravno, prema vašim knjigama, cilj je u stvari Ameriku uništiti kao globalnu silu, da bi se mogla stvoriti jednu drugu globalnu državu. Vi u svakom slučaju baš ne zvučite kao optimist po pitanju povjerenja u novog američkog predsjednika.
I've been talking about Barack Obama and writing about Barack Obama for many, many months, well before he won the election.